Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
All right, we have 3 of us. 4. Our survey designer extraordinaire. Good morning, Sean. Good morning, Hamish.
Morning, how are you?
Doing well. All right, I know for one, Mary's going to be a few minutes late, so she definitely said start without us. And then I'm just looking at my list, and we have Amy, and we don't have Catherine, we don't have Elizabeth, we have Hamish, we don't have John, Kate, Mary. All right, let's give it another minute or two. So we have 1, 2, 3, 5 of us anyway. So has anyone been enjoying the curling like I have on the once every 4 years viewing of curling?
I didn't think I would have visceral reactions, but I definitely did. Like when the
Right?
women's team was against China like a couple days ago, I was like,
Yeah.
it was like chess. It was awesome.
It's pretty cool, right?
It is
Yeah,
sweet. Yeah.
I'm the same way. I'm like, wow, I'm actually watching this and enjoying it. Like, it seems like it should be boring, but I'm like, it's kind of interesting.
I actually looked into where I could take curling lessons.
Yeah, did you? Nice.
Yes,
Norfolk,
and you
Norfolk,
can, Norfolk,
Connecticut. Yeah,
yes.
Norfolk, Connecticut, and Darien has a club.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. There was an article in the paper today about it, in the Current about it. And
yeah.
yeah, Norfolk's the spot in Connecticut. Well, and it's funny, I lived in Minnesota for a while and have some good friends that live in Duluth. So I'm like calling them up. I'm like, do you know the guys from the crew from the Duluth Curling Club? I'm like, they're famous now, it was just kind of funny.
I'm a
Um,
very bad Canadian, not interested at all.
oh no. Oh no. Are you at least interested in hockey at least or so. Okay. Okay. All right. Well, and the Americans beat the Canadians there, which was the first time like they'd ever beat them in curling. So there's um some history happening. Um, all right. So I guess let's get started anyway, because at least we have 5 of us here. In respecting everyone's time, Mary again said she'd be late. Um, I will, I guess, share screen. Uh, which I don't have anything like extraordinary to share, so to speak. But I have 2 things pulled up. One is the minutes and stuff, which is not much, right? The notes basically. So I just kind of doing this very informal, right? I don't. I mean, I put the agenda together, and then it's kind of like today we're talking about the needs-based piece, right? We're just going to kind of focus on that for a few meetings. Um, so really the survey edits, I think, is kind of the main thing that Sean had put together. We can kind of talk through that and walk through that. Sean, have you gotten much? I guess a couple things. So we'll quickly go through that, the survey, spend a few minutes on that. I'm figuring because of everyone's busy schedule, I know Mia had originally planned these for an hour and a half as far as on the calendar. On my mind, I'm like, I think we can get done in an hour each time what we need to get done. So that's kind of where Mary and I are at. All right, thumbs up, I figured. So that's just as far as planning purposes, but kind of review and plan for the survey and then discuss next steps again. I think it's important at the end, we end each meeting, like, okay, what's next, right? Sean, thankfully you kind of got us going on that last time, like, I'll get the survey going. So we need to just think about that each time, what's next steps, including what data information we might need. Like we highlighted that a little bit. I tried to trying on that a little bit. I wasn't forceful on it this time around. As we come up with a list of things we need from whoever, we can make sure we proactively reach out and assign people who are going to reach out to different folks. So those are my thoughts. Any thoughts based on that?
I have the LEA survey done as well, so
Okay,
we can review
cool.
that.
Nice. Nice. Sean's on it, man. Sean is on it. All right, actually, and you know what? I was gonna do this every time and just highlight who's here. I expect her Mary to show up, but and so yeah, I can do this later. I don't need to do this while you guys are sitting here, but the survey, yeah, so we have, you guys have all seen Sean's survey here on the LEA one, I mean the private provider one. And this, yeah, so I mean, obviously the beginning here, I would assume they all know what their geographical region is, that assigns their RESC, which RESC area they fall under. I don't know if everyone's brain works that way. I mean, mine sort of does because I'm in this world and you guys, most of you are sort of. So I guess that makes sense. Um, uh, and just stop. I mean, or did you guys give feedback to Sean yet? I know he got a little bit of feedback from people, but I don't want to waste time going through this line item by line item, but I'll just kind of scan through quickly if there's edits or adds or comments you want to give to Sean. Is that a fair process here for now?
Sure.
Do you serve students from out of state? Which is interesting, and that might even ask like how many, because I would be curious, like if they serve students from out of state. So it's an Edelbrook, for example. Let's just use an example that's near my hometown of Cromwell. But Edelbrook, okay, do you serve students from out of state? Yes, no. What does that tell us? Like how many? Like roughly or percentage wise or something like that. I think might be helpful to know. Actually, I don't know in here, and it might be further along, like how many students, what their capacity is. I think that's a question a little bit
Yeah,
further
that's
along.
and that one might I
Be
maybe
there. My shift order on stuff a little bit. Yeah. Yeah. You can move that one. Um, Primary disability category served. I like this question. Obviously, check it for typos. I know you threw this thing together, but there are a few
Yeah.
typos in here now.
Yep.
I don't think we need to point them out, but your opinion was a little, there's extra letters in a few
Yep.
of these as you were firing away. Any other thoughts on this page or comments? I'm just going to keep flipping along until I hear something. Oh yeah, enrollment capacity. So maybe move that out of state one over to this slide. So you meant here the number of students accepted
Yes.
is what you were thinking of. Maybe you could just add
Yes.
that in.
Referrals to students. Okay.
Yeah, number of referrals received, number of students accepted, numbers denied.
Can I ask
First,
a question on that? I'm sorry, Tom. This is
please,
Liz
Liz, go.
Baumgartner.
No,
On students denied, is that or is there reason codes or is that just no?
so then right
Like
below
we'll
it,
take.
right below
Okay,
it's
I'm sorry, I missed
primary.
that.
No,
I'm
that's
sorry,
okay. Right below it's
totally missed that.
primary. Um,
Thank you.
yeah, and actually, is this a? It's a
Yeah.
click as many as you want to.
Okay.
So that's
Thank you.
helpful. And maybe even put primary reason with the in parentheses S reasons so that people know they can choose more than one. Yeah, because I think this is key, right? Because again, this whole thing is kind of like the needs-based piece. So from the APSEPs, well, not all APSEPs, because again, you could be a non-approved and be filling this out as well. But from the private provider standpoint, who they're accepting, how many, why or why not they're accepting them. Good so far on that. Wait list, how many students, how long, primary drivers. Yeah, so it's funny. I like this attack at it because like we're looking at the provider side is the supply side, right? It's the supply of seats side, so to speak.
Mhm.
And then we're going to attack it from the demand side. Because actually, as I was reading this, I was like, well, what about the demand? You know what I mean? Like that's that whole piece. So the LEA side's obviously the other big chunk of this. Yeah. Thoughts on that? Are we good?
I
Good.
thought it was good.
Okay. Um,
Another edit with changes.
yeah, oh yeah. Oh, observed. Yeah, there's some little edits in there. I was thinking, I felt like there could be more here. Like another question or two here, just to kind of get at, um, and I don't necessarily want to give them a drop down sort of choices, but like I have my understanding of why I think there's, what I think the complexity of needs are changing over time. Um, I don't know. I'm trying to like think of, I don't know, just like you want a decent explanation here, right? Or some good information here that I think will be helpful to us. Like what's going on here? Like, because it's sort of linked to the slide before. Like we're denying maybe these students for these reasons. And then if one of the reasons is complexity of needs, what does that look like? Right? Is it I don't know. I guess the answers are going to be what the answers are.
I almost wonder if the observed change in student complexity over past 3 years is even needed if there's going to be an open-ended question about explain the most significant emerging needs you've observed over the last 3 years, and then just have that be more of a qualitative question.
So the reason that I wanted to have that specific question is I'm quite certain the overall experience is we're going to see increased in some way, and we're going to be able to report on a data point that says like 98% of programs have experienced increased student complexity. So I
Got it.
feel
Right.
like this is a
Combination of some data to
You're
say,
trying to
hey, X
quantify it.
percent quantify it, right?
Yeah. Okay.
Right. And again, linking it back to this, again, primary drivers, like this sort of stuff, referral sources, and the denial piece on the page before is what I was thinking. Like the reason for denial, right?
So yeah, and I think this is Liz again, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So and again, just putting my lens of when I went through this process with my very profound autistic kid, and I know recognize this is for the private providers, but just wondering when my kids maxed out every program, right? That choice of how, because really each program is not the same. All those private providers are not the same, right? And so when I think of a River Street over a Learn program, which my son also aged out, like part of that max service was that though they were providing service, they could no longer provide service at the level of need, hence the next referral, right? So wondering how, and I know that the drop downs are very specific, but again, I think that open-ended question, which is what Sarah I think was alluding to, I think makes sense. Just my own 2 cents on that.
Yeah, no, I think it makes great sense. And also, again, some of those, even on this one, I feel like, we have like there might be a certain number of them that are no available seats because it's just a capacity issue, and then there are certain that are clinical mismatch in the case of you're describing, Liz, right? So like even if we could get at like, I don't know, and maybe it's too finely detailed, but percentage of, like 50% of the time of our denials are, and I mean this is maybe a little too fine of a point to put on it, but are no available seat. But because I think my thoughts are that many of a smaller number are a clinical mismatch that the kid's super high need, right? Super high support needs. That's my thoughts. But if we see a lot of those, like, 75 out of 80 respondents said clinical mismatch, but it's really only a tiny number of those each time. Most of the time it's seats not available, for example. I don't know. I'm just thinking how we can get at
You could,
that, Sarah.
yeah, I think you could rewrite the question so that it is each of those primary reasons for denial, the respondent is being asked to indicate I'm thinking a Likert scale, like not at all, significantly, like a range.
Oh, right.
And so then If it's a clinical mismatch or staffing constraints, you can then quantify it that, say, 60% of respondents indicated that staffing constraints was neutral.
Right.
Or
Most
staffing.
often or highest or less, right,
Correct.
right. Less often,
Exactly.
more often sort of thing. Hey,
Correct.
Mary.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's a good thought because I like that even better than my idea was like ranking them. You know what I mean? Sort of like a
Yeah.
1 through 5 ranking. But then I was like, I didn't really like the ranking. That's why I didn't say it. But yeah, something like that. Here we're throwing these things at you, Sean. Obviously, I don't know to the extent these are doable and stuff. We're like, here, do this, and like all of a sudden you're our survey expert here. But
This is all easy.
yeah, all right, cool. Mary, we're just walking through the survey again. So and yeah, that sort of ties into this student need complexity. I'm just thinking about the order of this. That makes sense. I feel like that makes sense down here, but maybe not. I don't know, because we do. I love the purple, by the way, with the bolding thing. Enrollment and capacity, then wait list and demand pressure. Yeah, I guess so.
And we could disaggregate the data however we want later on. We
Yeah,
could take a question from one
yeah,
section and compare it to another section.
yeah.
That'll be easy enough.
Yeah, for the Likert scale too, I would just add decrease significantly or decrease moderately here, just to make
Okay.
it so there's new. So it's always
Oh,
a
right, it's a 5 point.
Yeah,
It's like a
yeah.
5 point thing. Yeah. Okay,
then
any other? Go ahead,
was
Liz.
there an enrollment? And I may have missed it because I can't
That's okay.
scroll back on the
I'm
screen, but
scrolling
is
quick
there
and I'm
like
clicking quick.
service, like actual, what the age or the grades that are actually
Yeah, so
like for
there's a
enrollment
thing
only because
here.
we have like programs that are only pre,
Yeah, so
yeah, and is
elementary,
pre-K
middle,
not
high.
pre-K is not included in this?
Oh, that's a good point. We could add pre-K on there. Yeah, good point.
Yeah.
Yep, nope, good
I
point.
mean, we serve like my school
Yeah.
we have a specialized, I know this is a district program here, but
Yeah,
still that's a huge
yeah,
need. And I know that's
yeah,
coming up
yeah.
and on the early
Yeah,
start
it's not
Connecticut
as
stuff.
common in the outplacements, but
Yeah.
certainly worth asking and
Yes.
seeing where the
Yeah.
numbers lie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. So that's like the ages there, and then we again, enrollment capacity. Let's see. All right, I'll move on to the next one then. Are we good right now? Okay. Services and staffing. Uh, Complaints. I was laughing. I'm like, complaints. What if they don't have complaints about service and staffing? We're sort of leading them to say, like, isn't staffing and services a complete nightmare, guys? Here's the question. So I was a little, which I know it is, or a pretty good sense it is. What do you offer? Counseling with an S, again, spelling thing, counseling with an S, not a C. Maybe an other, like, because I can imagine there's folks that have, some other specialized things. I'm not sure off the top of my head what they are, but
You
might
should
be some
definitely
other stuff.
add BCBA, Sean, because
Yeah, behavioral. Yeah,
some
yeah.
schools have that, some don't.
Actually, that's a very important one. Yeah, definitely to highlight. Um, and actually, you have it down here with the vacancy pressure. And RBTs and administrators. I'll crack up if people check that a lot. The administrators. I find the administrators are never empty. Those slots are never empty. Um, Drivers, staffing constraints, impact.
Could we add nursing to that, Sean?
Ooh, yeah. Yep, nursing to that. That's a good one. And that could even be a related surface too, actually, right?
Mm-hmm.
For nursing, related service and vacancy pressure. And even on staffing constraints, maybe kind of like a not that I always want an other box, because sometimes others boxes are tough when you're collecting data, right? Because then it's like 80% said other, and there's all these million things people write. But that's like, this felt like a spot where they might have other thoughts on what it impacts.
Training might be.
Huh?
Sorry.
I said
Yeah, Lucy.
training.
As far as for this one, staffing constraints,
Yeah.
impact training.
Do we want to, and good morning, I'm sorry I'm late, hit
all good, Mary.
traffic on 95 and 91. Do we want to reference pay or compensation? I don't know if we want to open that door or if
Can
we
we
just want
get
to keep it
there? Let's see.
at services based issue, concerns.
Yeah, actually, in here, actually, that's a good point, is we don't put their thoughts for the reasons. So that would be the question of like, what's the reasons for your staffing constraints, right?
Mhm.
Here we ask Sean, like what they impact, where they are, what do you offer, where are the issues, what's it impact, but what are your thoughts on the reasons for the staffing constraints or staffing limitations or shortfalls or whatever?
Yeah, I like that.
And it could be pay, it could be, what are some other thoughts there?
Geography.
Yeah, just availability of people out, yeah, applying for jobs, right? Which I
I
think
don't know
would
how
be
to say it like politely, but over meddlesome administrators and also parents that are not nice. Like, I'm not, because I know that that's
oh,
a huge
pressure
issue.
on staff from administrators leading
Yeah,
to staff constraints. Okay, or pressure from families, sort of a thing.
like the tone of interactions. I don't know how to say that concisely right now, but
Is it constituent pressure?
Constituent pressure.
Constituent
No.
pressure, external pressure, without like naming specific groups of people, but like it's more, because when I think about parents, those are our constituents.
okay.
Yeah.
And that's just a thought.
Yeah.
In
When I
that,
think of,
Sarah, do you
go
think
ahead.
that would translate? I'm sorry, Tom.
Okay.
Do you think that would be easily um understood, like the who we were implying when people were taking this?
No.
Okay.
Be
Yeah.
honest.
Yeah, no, that's good. No, because again, what's the administrators are going to be doing this, and different
Right.
folks use different
Yeah.
language, use different
Right,
language
right.
for it.
Are you the
Um,
problem?
Constituents for a
maybe,
lawmaker, constituents from a lawmaker are the people who
is
vote for you,
different,
right? I
right?
mean, that's like
Yeah.
a different thing.
But maybe what you could do is, Sean, when you send it out, we could provide like a little definition
Key,
key.
like a key, yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
like,
I was thinking that even built in, if you said constituents and in parentheses, i.e. families,
Mhm.
you can kind of like, this is everybody we're thinking, or something like that.
We
Like, we don't want to
probably
name them, but at
wouldn't,
the same time, we want people to know what the heck we're talking about.
right.
Um, and then of course it's the whole like special ed's really hard, and it's just general pressures of the job, right? Like, is kind of like a underlying thing around all of this work, right? Is that we have capacity and staffing issues because it's a tough job and the demands of the job, so to speak. So that's sort of that like underlying one that I think everyone will check almost every time, but sort of will have the data on it. Any other thoughts on the staffing one? And Mary, I did preface it saying that even though Mia's hooked us up with an hour and a half, that we're going to try to, accomplish this in an hour. And I got some thumbs up on that one. So everyone's busy, so we'll stick with the hour.
Yeah,
Um,
I have a committee meeting
yeah, I'm
that
sure.
I
I'm
have to
sure.
be at.
We did these at 9 so that our representative could attend, and before her committee meeting start at 10. So this works out with a 9 to 10 hour,
I
pending
appreciate all
traffic,
of it.
pending traffic.
Yeah,
Program expansion. Let's see. Could your program expand immediately? Resources? No, not interested. Oh, that'll be an interesting one. I wonder if they have a sense of that. What are your thoughts on that? On like, they know within their own.
they'll be able to clearly define why they can't expand. I think that
Yeah,
question's
okay.
spot on.
Okay. Do we need an other here, or I mean, I think this hits the general. Yeah, I guess that maybe hits them all. All right, good.
Yeah, I
See,
think
okay.
that's good.
See Amy going on and off mute. I'm like, that's my cue. That's my cue to check on. So transitions back. This is a great one. Yeah, how do you determine? Districts able, unable, objects. I guess those are the reasons really, right? I mean,
You
what
know,
would
I would recommend, I'm sorry, I'm talking a lot.
go? No,
Tell me
go.
that you add there the district, I mean, the parent slash student is requesting a return. Um, and the district is requesting a return, right? I think those are two. We often have parents that request a return where the district and the school are like, I don't know. So that is something that I think we should look at.
So they would check the box saying student requests.
Yeah, I would make that almost a check all that apply, right?
Okay.
Or and if you do that, I would say, I don't know, Sean, do you think maybe a question about what is your process to plan the transition back, or what is your that could be a narrative answer. How does your team typically enter the process of return? Does that make sense?
Mhm.
Do we want to also ask the how long it takes? Or I'm not sure if that would be helpful information to have other than just sort of for curiosity's sake, that the
I
transition
think,
period.
yeah, I think that's a little too individual, but maybe one of the things we can do is ask, do you offer transition plans, right? So sometimes some schools will
Half a day
say,
back. Yada yada.
yeah, some
Right.
will do a gradual return and some will be, no, it's either all or nothing. So I'm not quite sure, Sean, what are you thinking? Do you
I think it gets away from the needs-based
Mm.
assessment.
I think that's a good, yeah.
I think that there's a lot of great questions, but going back to like the actual mission of,
What's the reason for this? Yeah,
yeah,
good point, Sean.
it's really good. It's really interesting data actually, but
Yeah. Well, right. Because
Do
if
oh sorry.
no, go ahead, Sean. Hamish.
I was gonna say, do programs have like criteria or documents that they like share with families, like on those things, or is it really just a case by? Is it like so specific to a case by case scenario that they wouldn't have anything? I would love to see like what materials, even if it's like a hyperlink to like their website or something that shows like this is the process we use to go about making these decisions. But I don't know if it's too
It's
if it's too
really individual.
one-on-one individual. Yeah, yeah,
right.
Yeah,
that's fine.
it's really
Yeah.
individual.
It's sort of like why is the kid there in the first place? And
Hmm.
what
Right.
services are they getting? And have they gotten in? Are they can they now get the services back in district? And it's
Right.
so individualized. It seems
Yeah,
to me. Yeah.
I was thinking like di districts sometimes have policies on like if this then that type thing. But this
Yeah.
sounds like it's like so much in the
Yeah.
world of like through the individual plan, through all those factors, and it's really built in a more private setting. So I
Yeah,
understand.
I get annoyed when they have those things like if this, then that,
Right,
because
right, right, right.
then
Because
it's
like
not
it doesn't, it's not
individualized, right?
human.
Then it's
Right.
not individualized. If it's like if this happens, then
Well, we should
you
definitely
know,
put a pin in that because I think it's going to be much more relevant on the district side.
on the LEA side, right?
So if it's not there, I made these, a while back, so I can't
Yeah,
recall.
yeah,
But when we review that, if it's not there, we might want it there.
yeah. That's a good one. And thanks, John, for the reminder. Because again, the needs based, like we're looking at this from, okay, what is the need here? So this can point to, is the district, like if a parent asks, I want the kid back, and the district says, like, we're not ready because we don't have the services and programs, that's an important answer to get as far as, hey, the needs based, there's a need and you can't fill it now in the district. What's up with that? Like that's a piece of the question, of the information. Um, so I think something along that line is important. Okay, cool. Do we hit that one decent enough? Or no? Getting nods. I don't remember when the end of it is. For the bears in the cross. All right, what was this one? Let's see.
So that was also specifically cited in that section for the survey.
Yeah. Um, in our in this piece, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Is that going to be, do you know what that means? If you guys have to answer that question? Is it a good
Yeah,
enough
I
question?
think so.
Yeah.
The only people that may not, well, actually, the unapproved privates will probably know this as well. I mean, any approved private knows what the process is and can give feedback toward it.
Okay.
Like I could give one concrete example for unapproved. For a while, you had to have 10 kids in your program to get an initial approval, but then the districts weren't eligible for excess cost if they sent their kids to an
So they
unapproved
couldn't get
school.
to 10, right? Couldn't get to
So then
10.
they changed it a couple years back where you can go retro for the excess cost for in a program that's going through their initial. So they kind of
Yeah.
fixed that. Then the district would be out of luck if the program ultimately didn't get approved, but
Right.
at least it was better for the districts,
Which is not often the case that they get not approved, right?
probably.
Is there any value in saying, like, asking them what the most supportive or helpful part of the approval process is? Like, or is it that like, haha, like, what's the most helpful part
We
of taking a
we hope
test?
it's not,
It's like none of it.
but we hope it's not, haha. For our CSDE friends, we hope they don't get a haha. But no, good thought. Um,
I mean, we could leave it as an open-ended of, what if you could change something about the process type, what would you
yeah.
change type of
Because we got barriers, right? We got the negative side, so to speak, right? What are barriers? What problems have you had with this process? What are the good parts about it? And
or yeah, how would you improve
yeah,
the
yeah. If
something?
if the positive answers to the positive one are fairly blank and bleak, then that's data and information for us, Amish, right? That tells us something. And that is the end of the thing. I didn't actually take it, Sean. I was like going through it the other day, and I'm like, I was supposed to take it, I guess, to practice. Did you get any data into any junk data in there that
They did.
people took it? You did? Okay,
A
good,
couple people, yeah.
good.
I didn't play with the data, but like I said,
No,
we'll
yeah,
scrub
yeah.
it.
Well, again, it's always challenging to deal with the, we like the information and the open-endeds, but it's way difficult to deal with when you're analyzing data later. Now, just quickly on who this will go to. This is going to go to the list of all approved um, and non-approved. And where is that list of non-approved? That's a question I have. Is like I don't even know what that list is or looks like. Like, does the CSD have that list, or does anyone on this call know that answer? Because I don't. We can ask them, but we can all come
I
up with a
think they're
few. Mary?
I think they're supposed to have that. They should have that information, SDE, about all of the potential places where a student might be served. So
I can check with them.
That'd be
I can
great.
check, I'll check in with Brian about it.
All right, thanks, Amy. 'Cause it makes me think like, of course, I know their answer is going to be only if they're enrolled in a district and the districts, da 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 da. But like, do districts report that? Like, do districts report they went to this non-approved? I would think they do. So they should.
Um,
Like,
it-
if you send your kid to whatever, I mean,
yeah, we're not
actually,
supposed to send kids to non-approved, so
I yet they
yeah.
do, right? But so they're still sending them. So then the question is yeah, are they reporting that in any way? Thank you for following up on that because that obviously would be helpful to hear from that subset of this population as well. The approval list is easy because that's on the website and we can get those. And you'll distribute it through kind of the I always forget all the acronyms of all the groups, Sean, but what's the
Yeah, CAPSF.
CAPSF? That's the
Um,
one. That's the one. There's so many of them. I can't keep track.
I mean, so I'm gonna send, my plan would be to send it to everybody that's on the approved list, whether or not they are a member of CAPSF, and then follow up with CAPSF members specifically and say, hey, please really do this.
Right.
But because they still need the opportunity just because they're not part of the organization. But I
Right.
think that at least the people in CAPSF know who I am
Yeah,
and
yeah,
will
yeah.
be more apt to
Hey,
respond.
it's Sean. Sure, we'll do this for you, sort of thing. And it's actually interesting because in my mind, I didn't realize that. I guess there's people that aren't part of CAPSF. Like in my mind, they all were, right? Like you're an approved, just part of it. But what
Yeah,
is
weird.
is it a large number of the 88 or 89 that are in
Oh, half.
CAPSF? Really, only half. Okay. All right.
We're working on that though.
Yeah, that's good. Does it make sense for that? I mean, so that'll come from us, the Bergen Commission, right? So it'll come from the Bergen Commission, et cetera. On behalf of the Bergen Commission sort of thing. That's I assume good enough? Then there's a good chance they're not going to know who the Bergen Commission is. So is there a way, Mary, we might want to frame that, like just saying like, hey, you're getting this survey on behalf of this Bergen Commission. Like, what the hell is a Bergen Commission? If they don't know Sean, they're going to be like, who the heck are you guys?
Well, that's
Um,
another question that I had, whether or not
yeah.
it should come from my work email or
That's just thinking that through, right? It might make sense for it to come from Mary's or from Amia's or I don't know.
Let me check in about that. I feel like it would be, let me check. I'm not sure how that would be best done, for transparency sake. And I'm gonna feel 100 years old asking this, but is it required to have a Google email like account to send this out?
no.
No, just the link. Okay, great. Okay.
Um, yeah, so if that's an important question. So as we walk through this, Mary, who
Yeah.
should send it? Where does it come from?
Yeah.
I think more to your point, Sean, more of a generic kind of like CGA email makes sense,
Hmm.
or a CSDE one, maybe, what I mean, would be the kind of the two, I think, generic options sort of thing.
Tom,
Yeah.
I
Hey,
make
John.
have a couple of people send it because, for example, I know that uh, I'm fairly confident that all of the private schools know who Seek is
Yeah.
and would respond to something from the Seek email.
Yeah, I think if I think it should emanate from somewhere though, then maybe we can talk about if we reshare it, and forward it sort of thing. But if it emanates and starts with an email from CGA or CSDE and then, John, Tom, Liz, everyone on here can, then forward it to the people we know, Sean, obviously through your CapStuff stuff, and then forward along saying, hey, by the way, I'm just forwarding this, request of a survey on behalf of the Bergen Commission sort of thing, right, Mary? Does that make
Yeah, and
sense?
I can write a blurb for just a quick intro explanation thing
That'd be
of
great.
why, the a brief history of what it is and why
Right.
we're asking, and so it has a little bit more context to it rather than just please give us your info.
Yeah. Okay. That's good. Does that make sense, John? Just because, and
Yeah,
I'll just speaking for me, Disability Rights Connecticut, some people are going to get a survey from me and be like, yeah, there's not a chance in hell I'm filling out a survey from Disability Rights Connecticut because, I don't want you guys having this information. So, but from Seek maybe differently, and from Hamish maybe differently, and certainly Sean differently. So, but at least emanating from that main group would be good.
I am better
Um,
looking than people
that
respond.
is true. If we do include a picture on it, then we got you. You'll have us covered on that front. All right. Uh, and I do want to leave time. It's 9:40. Do we want to quickly take a peek, Sean, at your LEA one and start that conversation? Does that make sense? So Sean's developed a draft of a survey for the LEAs as well, the demand side, so to speak.
I just
Actually,
emailed it to you a little while ago, so
you just emailed. Oh,
you could
jeepers.
drive the show. I
Oh,
just did
okay.
it while we were meeting.
Okay, hold on a second. Let me stop share so you don't see all my crazy email stuff. And then Sean, there it is. Okay. And then I do want to make sure I leave a couple minutes quickly at the end at 5 of Mary, just for like next steps and who's doing what and data and stuff. All right, so this is two LEAs. Again, name and region. All right, number of students requiring out of district. Yeah, so I guess along with this total percentage, we could say what's your total students with disabilities number, right? So, I mean, we can either calculate percentage or they can, but either way, we'll get the number. Like, because are we talking, I always laugh because the other day I heard Senator Austin, Sprague, she used a Sprague as the example of the tiny town, right? Like the Sprague that's got only a few students, or again, Big Five that's got thousands, tons of students. So maybe it's total students with IEPs, total students outplace, out district. Current students, including waitlist and without appropriate placement, that'll be an interesting answer. I feel like there's more to that too. Like,
So Sean,
the-
can we add, oh, sorry, Tom.
go.
Sean, can we add to the current students without an appropriate placement? Can you put something about a rationale, like a reason, right? Like
Yeah.
what are the,
I think that's down.
Yeah.
oh, is it down further? I'm sorry.
So that question is a little tricky. I know it exists because kids are on homebound tutoring, oftentimes
Correct.
waiting placement, which is not an appropriate placement. The PPT team, agrees that it's not appropriate to have the kid in homebound until a placement opens up, but that does happen. So it's a little open-ended. I could ask specifically how many that might exist actually in this survey, but how many students are on
Sort
home-
of, yeah, and sort of a why they're not
Okay, so
appropriately
that's
placed.
different, right? So I guess if that's what we're asking, we just have to be specific about that because you could have a student that's waiting for an appropriate placement, but you're maintaining them in school. So if we want to specifically know, are there kids who are on homebound or tutoring because they don't have a placement? We should be very specific about that and just ask that question. Does that make sense?
It does, or we could just combine it with this one question.
Okay.
So two qualifications on that. Homebound has an explicit meaning in Connecticut law. Homebound placement is a student who is at home because of a medical reason that prevents him or her from going to school. And that needs to be certified by a doctor. So a lot of schools make that confusion. They say if a kid is placed at home, if the school doesn't have a placement yet, and they're asking that student to stay at home and get tutoring, that is not homebound. That is an IEP placement at home, or should be. So there's a
Correct.
lot
Thank
of
you for
confusion.
fixing my vernacular. That's what I meant.
And,
But yes.
and number two, you should include those students who are in out of placement because of due process hearings and or negotiated settlements with parents or unilateral placements by parents.
That might come further. Do you get into those details, Sean? No. And when we say include those, it's basically gathering data as to how many are placed because of those reasons.
Yes.
I guess. And is that as far as our needs based? Just trying to think of what data and information that's given us that we.
I think
So I don't know if that provides you the needs because the district is saying they can offer a program. Right?
Yeah, but
Fine.
they may not be correct in that presumption.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm struggling with this part a little bit. It gets pretty weedy pretty
Yeah.
quick, I mean,
We don't have to solve that specific one now.
no,
We can
no.
workshop it a little bit and
Yeah. In
So-
this, go ahead, John.
So ignoring that in our report will give false information or skewed.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I'm not saying ignoring it. I'm just trying to figure out how to address it with, I guess that's pointing out or trying to highlight or trying to get data, collect data on the difference in opinion between the family and a district on whether they can provide the services, right, for the student. So who's saying we can or can't provide the needs, meet the needs of the student?
But what that reflects is the demand for those services. Whether,
Right. Okay. I guess my point is the reason that they're out. Well, yeah. Anyway, all right, we're going into the weeds a little bit, but with this question, primary causes of placement delay or lack of placement too. Like right, like I guess delay is the same thing.
yeah. So somebody at Hubbard or Cahal or a school that's not approved, I mean that focuses on if our focus is making sure is maximizing the amount of appropriate services provided, I think ignoring that is a real problem.
Okay, duly noted. Because I think again, thinking about this, yeah, okay. Are these good choices here? Delay, lack of available seats, no placement, transportation funding. Any other ones that you guys come across, Sarah?
My suggestion was only to reframe this like we did in the prior survey to make it more not rank ordered, but translate it to more of a Likert scale type question so that we can identify those that are most significant.
Right. Most often the reason, less often the
Right.
reason sort of
Yes,
thing.
yes.
On the 5-point scale, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right. This is very often, not very often.
Right.
Somewhere in between, right? Sort of a
Yes.
ranking way to say like, yeah. Okay, that makes sense. We're getting nods from Sean. In out of states, I believe the costs for places are generally reasonable. That'll be a good one. Anything to add to those?
Just to maybe go back, I got a little help from
Yeah.
Gemini to that one question. If we don't like it, we can just move on to some of the lower hanging fruit. But as of whatever date, how many students in your district have an IEP recommending a specific educational placement that has not yet been implemented due to a lack of available capacity?
That's perfect. That's exactly what we deal with. That's perfect, Sean.
Right.
Amy, don't be giving Gemini so much credit now. Come on.
I pay for GPT. Gemini is better. I'm gonna cancel my GPT or chat GPT. But all right. So if that,
Oh my gosh.
it's all about the prompt.
I'm still reluctant to hit the Gemini button. It just scares me up there.
I'm so sorry. I have to go. We are raising a challenging concept in education today, and I
Hey,
need to be in the room.
good
earlier.
luck.
Thank you.
Good luck. God bless. We
Have
will
fun.
see you
Yeah.
on the flip side. Yeah, you had fun today.
Yeah, sounds wonderful.
It's
You'll get some emails from us.
the right thing to do.
Take care, Mary.
All right, bye. Thank you so
Thanks.
much, Sean. Thank you so much for doing the work on this. It's really going to be so helpful, I think.
Thank you. My pleasure.
All right, and now we're talking about internal capacity, programming, staffing space. Acuity levels, is that a phrase that you guys are using pretty regular? Not a phrase that rings true to me, but that I use.
In my world, yes, but I'm also attached to a hospital, so that could just
I
be
know that's why I'm
hospital
asking,
jargon.
because for me, it's not a word I usually use. I want to hear from others, like if Is that a phrase that you would? I'm always like level of support or support needs or, sort of a thing like,
I could
okay, if you guys,
find
yeah,
something.
whatever. That was that. Let's see. Students needs difficult. So internally. So I'm just going to look quickly at next and then go back because I just want to say the thing I would add here is something around what are those difficult to serve needs, right? If we could have a,
Can, I
go
have a
ahead,
question. So under
please.
what causes internal capacity constraints? So where it says space limitations, so internally, that can be, for us, it could be, are we out of slots or do we not have space, like actual square footage in spaces in rooms? So I'm just
Physical, right,
wondering, yeah.
right.
For us, I would look at that as two separate things because for us, we have slots, plus we may have a physical capacity issue of not being able to move a classroom to a bigger space to be able to then house more students.
Right. Because you only
So,
have a closet left over, right?
yeah, so I'm just,
Right.
that may just have to be
I like it.
separated out
Yep.
because I know for us, it could be answered in both ways.
Sure. I like it.
Makes sense. Other thoughts? So yeah, this one, I guess we're looking for that open-ended, again, it's the medical, it's the behavioral, it's the blah, 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 right? We're looking for those different answers here, I guess. Um,
I'm gonna add a 2 there. I didn't spend the time going back to edit and
yeah,
that
yeah,
much.
yeah.
If you
Yeah,
guys just
no.
wanted to scrap this, I didn't want to put
Yeah, right. Spend the
extra
time on
time
it.
into it.
No, yeah, no, this is, I think we're along the right lines here, with it. No, this is great. The, it's one of those I go back and forth between wanting to give choices with another or leave an open-ended, you know what I mean? Sort of a thing. So then it's like, that's where my mind was on that one. But I guess if people feel comfortable knowing what they would answer on that, um,
You could
and
probably do a checklist of Tom if you think it's easier.
yeah,
And I can send you a list of the common, and then we could do another just in
right,
case.
the top 4 or 5,
Yeah, I'll send you a list.
okay, thank you. Except from other LEAs. No placement.
Which
To John's point, on the homebound tutoring, again, John, just to put the fine point on that, is that the appropriate use of that? Like the reason that the placement might be delayed.
Sorry, can we go back to for students without a current placement, which primary disabilities are represented?
Yeah.
Is there interest in identifying which are the most difficult for finding a placement?
It's sort of your Likert Ken on this one,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
like most often this one, or
Right,
maybe
right.
even, rank this might make sense for a ranking, although sometimes when you do the rankings, everything ends up at a 2.5, you know what I mean? Sort
Right.
of thing when you rank them 1 through 5. Um, but yeah, that makes sense, right? Like which ones of these are the most
Mm-hmm.
challenging to place?
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, how do you ask it in a survey design situation? I'm not sure what's best. Is it the Likert or is it the a ranking?
I would also just add, we might want to, just from personal experience, I think the behaviors of the student, right, are actually more reflective of difficulties than the disability of a student. So there should be, because you can have a student with any one of these disabilities and they actually have very similar needs, right? So I I like this. I think we should add an other, Sean, because
Mhm.
developmental delay, medically fragile, things that affect
But you're saying a separate question around
traits,
what is
right?
causing besides what disability
Yeah,
category they're in, what's causing the reason for the need for the
yeah,
outplacement,
yeah.
behavior concerns, other.
Is it a peer group? Because those are the things that we typically hear, right? Peer group, we're unable to safely support them. Um, uh, their their needs don't fit our program. Like those are things that we typically hear.
Yeah,
So I don't know if maybe we just put something like that.
okay.
I
Makes sense.
I agree with that. The other thing I might add to this list is deafness, because I run into this case where kids who are culturally deaf are not necessarily culturally deaf kids present a real problem vis-a-vis the least restrictive environment provision of IDEA, so it causes a problem. So I would recommend we add deafness to that list. But I agree wholeheartedly with Amy's suggestion.
Okay, we can do that like a Likert scale too, separate, completely separate question along lines of behaviors are a primary driver for outplacement, and then do like the 5-point scale.
Yeah, I think that's a good one.
Okay.
Right, behaviors or, medical needs or, whatever the few that we have are. Impacts. I think we're good there. Ooh, look at this baby. Look at this baby. Sarah's gonna like this one. Adequate information.
See if we catch anybody, trick anybody up with cost.
Yeah, right. Yeah, if you don't rank it 7th, you lose. You get a big red flag on your survey if you don't rank it 7th. The only thing I would say is meets the needs of the students. Like that's, I think, can be would be the main choice, right? It should be.
I think that's captured under specialization.
I agree.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
At least that was more the
That
intention.
was the intent. Okay, I
Yeah.
gotcha. I gotcha. Right,
Maybe
see what,
methodology, Sean, because you can have 4 different schools with the same specialization, but they do it differently.
Yep.
right, their methodology matches what the kid needs or whatever. This will be an interesting question. I like this question, Sean. This could provide some good information.
Just a point of clarification, you may want to, just in terms of ensuring you get the answers that we're really looking for, just provide definition of 1st through 7th, like 1st being like your first choice. Because believe me, there are people out there who might think, oh,
Right.
7th is the
Opposite.
best choice.
Right.
Yes.
Opposite.
Yep.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. The way I read it was your first is the one your primary driver, right? Right.
We can clarify that.
They could be opposite. Primary constraints. And then I said I was going to leave us a few minutes. Now it's already 10:01 and I haven't stopped going through the survey. How many more pages have I got, Sean? Do I keep going or do we power through or do
I
we,
think- Yeah, we're
table it?
almost done.
Let's see. Let's see. We got a couple more. Oh, you got. Oh, requires a response. It's not even letting me. Look at that.
Oh boy.
That's why. Oh man, I gotta rank them all. Let's see how I can do this. I'm gonna rank them all second. See if it gives me a problem. Oh, yep. It doesn't let
Yeah,
me
you
do
gotta go
that either.
diagonals.
Yeah, it doesn't let me do that either. Let's test in Sean's survey.
I can remove that too. I don't know.
Yeah, no, that's good. That's good. I finally place. Doesn't matter to me. Love that.
mean, a lot of these are going to be layup questions. We kind of know the response,
Yeah,
but it'll be nice to have that data point.
right. Yeah. I'd be curious as they put their name on the district part LEA in question number 1. I'm curious if they actually answer honestly on some of these ones later on.
Well, we'll be able to see if there's multiple. So if we see like
Yeah.
two
Yeah.
from Wallingford and one of them looks really bad, we'll know which one is fake.
Generally reasonable. Huh. Sure.
This looks good, Sean. Thank you.
And that's submit is the end of it. Awesome. Awesome. All right. So just quickly back to my notes before we exit. So, Mary had a couple of things she was doing. Amy's going to check with Brian Kay on that list of approved programs. There was a few items from our last meeting under this category that I'll circle back with Brian on as well. Because he was going to get us some stuff about, a report that we get that they get on an AppSep and this approved standards, the AppSep standards that some on the call are familiar with and aware of, but some are not, some in the subgroup are not. So I'll circle back with Brian on some of those things from last time. We do have our next meeting on the 11th at 9. Mary and I trying to work around her schedule a little bit. I mean, the session is in session right now, obviously, so that's a little bit of impact. But we just picked for now the second Wednesday of the month. We talked about, do we need to meet more regularly, and maybe not now. Certainly with just the busyness of this time of year. But kind of as we get deeper into some of these topics, we might add some meetings in between or additional ones. But for now, we sort of just set aside these, second Wednesday of the month at 9. And if we find people can't make that day ever because they have another standing meeting every Wednesday, the second Monday of the month at 9, then we might have to switch it, but no one's, hooted and hollered about that issue yet. So obviously you guys are all here, so I assume it's not a problem for this group. But we'll check with the others. Any other parting thoughts or parting questions other than great thanks to Sean for diving in and taking the lead on this. We greatly appreciate it. Hearing nothing else, there's not much for notes on this one, so I don't know if I'll put much for notes together other than we reviewed it and, sort of get the dates again out for the next meetings. I'll work with Mia to make sure we have invites. So for now, you can put holds on those dates and times if you don't mind on your calendars, just so you have them on your calendar. And then we'll get the invites through Mia. Amy, did you have a question or comment?
Nope.
Okay. When I see the mute come off, then I'm just making sure. All right. Well, thank you all. I appreciate it. And
Have a great day, everyone.
if we don't see you before then, we'll see you on March 11th.
See ya.
Take care, guys.